to prayer in Garissa, northeastern Kenya, prompts a young man to go down on his knees. Stripped of his national identity, constantly harassed on the pretext of security concerns. This is how the story of 21-year-old Mohamud Hussein reads in what has become a dodgy affair with the government he struggles to call his own.
See where I'm going to and where I'm from.
His sentiments perhaps a pointer to why he constantly seeks divine intervention. The frenzied search for an identity card having dragged on for a solid 3 years now, with nothing to show for it.
Kulikuwa na clerical vacancies ambayo nimeona kutoka newspapers. Those vacancies I cannot participate because as soon as I apply, because I'm not qualified.
And make no mistake, qualification here refers to being in possession of a Kenyan national identity card, as Hussein is 2 months shy of completing a diploma course in supplies management. Minutes later, Garissa town would come alive and lay bare a burden turned riddle of a community caught up in an identity crisis. Mohamud Hussein joins this world entering into a cyberspace, the immigration website, in what is a routine that sees him enter a serial number that he has come to know by heart, betraying no emotion in moments that lead to these words being splashed on his screen. It is a response that has worn his patience thin since his first application in 2008 and later in 2009. The numerous trips to the district registrar getting rather infuriating for a young man who is clearly no longer at ease. He cannot afford to be, having just watched yet another opportunity to serve his country in the police force slip through his fingers. Yet no answers are given from this office, pointing only to the headquarters in Nairobi. Hussein's application, according to the Garissa District Commissioner's office, however, may be one in over 1,000 successful applications that were revoked in the year 2009 alone by the Ministry of Immigration following a vetting exercise in Garissa District that okayed their identity as Kenyans. An entire registration exercise by the vetting committee was overruled.
The reason was, oh, they were refugees, they were this, but they were genuine.
That argument given then, the infiltration of refugees, and one that continues to be used in northeastern Kenya, is precisely what many more residents are totally dismissive of.
Kusema kweli, hata mbuzi yako kama ni mingi namna gani, ikichanganyika na mbuzi nyingine utajua mbuzi yako. Wakenya wanajulikanwa.
Nimekata ID yangu 2009, nikamwambia niko reject, nikakuja kwa ofisi, nikatengenezewa, nikatumana, nikapatiwa ID number, nikamwambia after 2 weeks utapata ID yako, mpaka saizi nimeka 2 sijapata.
There is the flip side of the coin, however, which speaks of a government in a catch-22 situation in its pledge to guard Kenya's borders.
Most of the children who are born in this area did not have, or parents did not register them upon birth.
Now, what was once a viable alternative for students to be issued with identity cards in their respective high schools in northeastern Kenya was recently scrapped by the provincial administration. Allegations of corruption and favoritism fly around the issue.
You will find some instances where a principal or a head teacher writes a letter confirming that this is a student of my school, or she has been, or the child has been schooling in this school since class 1 or class 4 or class 5, yet which that is not true.
Those forms are not left with us. It is the district registrar and his officials that go with it. So if there is any manipulation that is done, it is done outside this center.
Now, one more thing that you cannot do without an identity card is cross the Garissa-Tana Bridge, an issue that has left many young people feeling cut off from the rest of the country. And no, waiting cards are of no use to them.
Because the moment it is rejected, you don't return the waiting card. They retain the waiting card. So you can find a waiting card that is 3 or 4 years old.
Therein lies yet another problem, the process of vetting, which according to residents is veiled discrimination and violates their right to equal treatment as Kenyans, a rigorous vetting process.
Mara unaambiwa lete cheti ya kuzaliwa mama yako, baba yako, babu yako.
Any person who applies to be Kenyan and shows you his parents' identification, that should be enough to register them.
There must be an intelligence officer in the vetting committee. There must be somebody from a CID.
Lakini wewe ukisema tu masharti zile za kukosesha mtu asipate kitambulisho, hiyo ni shida kubwa sana. Kwa hivyo serikali ni njia yake kupeleleza watu na kujua kweli huyu ni Mkenya.
An appeal passionately put across for a document that all Kenyans certainly have a right to as enshrined in the Constitution. Mbilu for Sunday Live.